How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the updated TSA CBT. If you get value from this video, hit subscribe and give it a thumbs up. It helps push the video out to other people also looking for help, and it's a free and easy way to help support the channel. I haven't taken the CBT. Everything I'm telling you is based on user feedback, things I've read on forums, and Google searches. I can get you in the ballpark of what to expect. However, use this at your own discretion. I can't go in and take the CBT because if I do, everyone's gonna find out why I'm there. This is the best that I can do. The purpose of this video is to talk about what has changed and what is going to be tested on the new CBT. There is actually a point to all of this. All of the skills that you're using on the CBT, you are actually going to use on the job, on the checkpoint. Here is a list of what has changed on the new CBT. Hit pause, read it over, I'll explain everything. First part is the 2D, 3D image. It's when you take a flat 2D image and you have to turn it into a 3D image. What is the whole point of doing that? When you look at an image on the x-ray, it's in 2D, but real life is 3D. You have to convert that 2D image on a screen into a 3D when you grab the bag and try to find what's in it. I'm going to give you an example of how to do that. I found you guys some help for the CBT. If you stick around till the end of the video, I'll tell you exactly how to do it. I will give you a quick tutorial on how to complete the 2D, 3D image test. In this example, what number corresponds to letter B? If you look at the 2D and the 3D image, the only thing that is the same is the letter X. On the 2D, all you see are numbers. On the 3D, you have letters. Once you fold a 2D into a 3D, the only thing that does not change is the letter X. That is called a point of reference. You can take that 3D image and you can spin that around all you want. The point of reference, that X, it does not change. Obviously, here is the answer. Identify the letter and corresponding number, and the number is 2. Yes, I chose an easy example on purpose because I'm trying to demonstrate to you how this is supposed to work. There's 3 things that you have to pay attention to. Number 1, the point of reference, which is the X, does not change. Number 2, pay attention to angles. Why? Because number 3, angles act as a secondary point of reference. You can take that image and spin it around all you want to. The point of reference and the angles don't change. There is a point to the 2D, 3D image test. When you're looking at an image on the x-ray, it's in 2D. However, real life is in 3D. When you go to the x-ray and you take the bag out of it, it's a 3-dimensional object. When you're trying to find the water bottle or whatever that's in that bag, you have to, in 3 dimensions, think about where in the bag is that bottle in comparison to that 3D picture. That's the whole point. Next part is connecting dots and tracing images. It's going to be alphanumeric, and you have to follow letters and numbers in order. A1, B2, get the point, because A is the first letter, it goes to 1. B is the second letter, it goes to 2, and so on and so forth. Here's an example. There's a bunch of dots with letters and numbers attached to them. All you do is you go in alphanumeric order. Here is an example of what I'm talking about. This is going to be the easy part of the test, or one of the 2 easy parts of a 3-part test. If you're trying to figure out what is the whole point of this part of the test, when you're looking at an x-ray image of a bag, sometimes you have to trace the outline of an image to put the whole thing together in your head so that it makes some kind of sense. It's using Gestalt theory, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here's an image of a plain white background and a bunch of black shapes all over it. What your eyes are seeing are individual pieces. What your brain is doing is that it's putting all those pieces together in some coherent order so it makes some kind of sense. Here's an example of an X-ray image. Try to find the hair dryer and all the different parts in it. In order to do that, you have to find what looks like a hair dryer and what could be the parts of a hair dryer. There's an arrow pointing to the actual hair dryer. There's an arrow pointing to the heating coil, and there's an arrow pointing to the wire that you plug in for the hair dryer. You put all those different things together for your brain to tell you this is a hair dryer instead of a bunch of parts and colors on a screen. When you look at an X-ray image, you see the skeleton of the object that you're looking at. You have to then convert that skeleton into what you think it could possibly be. And in order to do that, you have to go and put those pieces together to figure that out. It looks hard, it really isn't. Final part of the test is going to be image identification or image matching. What is the whole point to image identification and matching? I'm glad you asked. You only have between 3 to 5 seconds to look at an X-ray image on the checkpoint. And during that time, you have to identify all the objects in that bag and then decide, do I let the bag go or do I open that bag up and try to find whatever's in there that shouldn't be there? I will give you an example. I'll show you an image of a bag and you have to find 4 objects. As part of those 4 objects, you have to find the adult toy, the belt buckle, the bra wires, and a pair of shoes. I will give you to the count of 5 to identify all those images. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you find all the images? Here are all the answers. If you were paying attention to that image, there's 2 sets of bras in that picture because there's 4 wires that were in that bag. Go back and look again in case you didn't catch it. There's a few buckles in that bag, however only 1 belt buckle. There's also about 5 pairs of shoes in that bag and only 1 adult toy. Alright, that brings us to the sponsor of today's video, JobTestPrep.com. They develop TSA CBT testing software to help you pass the test. They have 2 versions and you get access to both. I'll explain. The 2D, 3D part of this test is difficult. This software actually helps teach you how to overcome that part of the test. The valuable part about this software is it tells you how many total questions there are, how many you got right, how many you got wrong, and then the button here that says View Explanations. When you click on this, it'll take you back to the original question, and it will show you what you got wrong and what the right answer is. When it comes to the 2D, 3D imaging part of the test, getting practice and then seeing what you got right and wrong is extremely valuable. It starts training you to apply the point of reference, the angles, and then using those angles as a secondary point of reference. I've gone through the software and these images start out easy and then they get harder as you go. Don't just focus on the easy images thinking it's going to be okay. Actually go through all of it and get as much practice as you can. Those harder images are going to prepare you very well for that part of the test. Now, I'm not just saying that because they are the sponsor. I'm saying that because that test is actually pretty difficult. Going through the software was very helpful because as I did it over and over again, I started to see where I was going wrong and how to interpret those images. Version 2, the most valuable thing is the practice x-ray test. Having access to a practice x-ray test gives you the opportunity to look at different images over and over again and see how different objects appear on an x-ray image. The good thing about getting that kind of practice is when you get to the checkpoint and you're looking at x-ray images, you aren't stopping every other bag trying to figure out what's in it. You've already gotten tons of practice looking at stuff. That way, when it's go time on the checkpoint, you won't have any problems getting acclimated to it. And as you can see, it gives you practice looking at different things. Toys, pens, car keys, water bottles, watches, flashlights, electronics, different types of things, and it builds that mental repertoire of how things will appear on an actual x-ray image. So, details about jobtestprep.com and the software are in the box below. And the first 20 people that reach out get a 10% off discount code. There's a catch. I will give you 24 hours to use that code. If you don't, I'm going to give it away to someone else. Alright people, as you can tell, the background has changed. And that's because I am currently traveling. I am someplace in the middle of Africa on a UNHCR compound. And the refugee camp is just down the street. And yes, the power has also gone out. I can't tell you exactly where I am. What I can tell you is I have other videos coming up. And until then, you've got this.